Today on Aqua Kids.
Snakeheads are an invasive species, and they are becoming a huge environmental issue in Maryland and Virginia. Join the Aqua Kids as they see the efforts being made by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to stop the invasion.
Aqua Kids, doing what we have to do. Saving our earth, land, air, and sea. All we gotta do is keep it green and blue. For me and you. Aqua Kids.
Today we're on the Potomac River to learn about a non-native invasive fish.
Non-native means it hasn't always been here.
And invasive means it's a fish that upsets the ecosystem of the Potomac River.
You guys have been reading, haven't you? It's also important to remember that the Potomac River flows into the Chesapeake Bay, which flows into the Atlantic Ocean.
So which non-native invasive species are we learning about today?
The snakehead fish.
Oh, I'd like to know what's being done about them.
What we find out might shock you.
Hannah, don't give away the secret yet.
All right, sorry. We're now on board the boat with Steve from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
How you doing?
So, what is a snakehead?
A snakehead is a fish that's native to Asia that's been introduced here into the Potomac River.
So how did it get here?
We don't know exactly how it got here, but unfortunately somebody released them into the river and they started to reproduce, and now they've become pretty abundant here.
So what's wrong with the snakehead fish?
Well, what we're afraid is that they're going to have negative impacts on populations of native fish that already occur here.
Does that mean they're reproducing too quickly? They're eating too many native fish?
It's both of those.
So what areas can you find the snakehead fish?
Snakeheads are now distributed out through most of the Potomac River, but they've also spread to other tributaries in both Maryland and Virginia.
I heard somewhere that the snakehead fish can actually walk on land. Is that true?
What?
That really isn't true, but they are air breathers and they can live out of water for long periods of time.
Is that what is also contributing to their moving into such a widespread area?
Well, water quality doesn't really have any influence on them, so they can live in areas that have really good water quality as well as areas that don't.
So they're slithering their way into places they're not supposed to be.
Well, they're not supposed to be here at all. That's the problem.
Why is it called a snakehead?
Snakehead's just a common name. Their actual scientific name is Channa argus.
Do they look like a snake?
Yeah, they have rather snake-like body,
And they breathe air.
and they breathe air.
So what are you all doing to make sure that these fish aren't affecting the ecosystem?
Well, we're here to study to see what kind of impacts they're having on our native fish stocks.
What kind of impacts do you think they could have?
Well, they're a predatory fish, so they do eat other fish. So we're trying to gauge what kind of impacts they're having on native fish populations.
And do you go out and collect a bunch of them and take them back to a lab to study it, or are you watching them in their habitat right now?
We do remove some fish and we bring them back to our lab and we look at what they're eating and we're looking at their health and their reproductive status.
So I haven't seen one of these before. Is there a chance we'll get to see one?
Absolutely, we'll take you out and show you right now.
Awesome.
Aqua Kids will be right back.
Now it's time for Aqua Quiz with your host, Drew Cruz.
Thank you. You're much too kind. I'm your host, Drew Cruz, and now it's time for you, the viewer, to test your knowledge with Aqua Quiz. Let's get started. Snakeheads, an invasive species of fish, are becoming a huge environmental issue in Maryland and Virginia. Do you know where the snakeheads are originally from? Is it A, Canada, B, Australia, C, Asia, D, Africa, or E, South America? We'll be back with the answer after the break. I wonder if they've come up with the answer. Oh, so have you come up with the answer yet? Do you know where the snakehead fish originated? The answer is C and D, Asia and Africa. Snakeheads are members of the freshwater perciform fish family Shanidae, native to parts of Africa and Asia. These elongated predatory fish are distinguished by their long dorsal fins, large mouths, and shiny teeth. We'll see you next week with another Aqua Quiz.
Welcome back to Aqua Kids. I'm going to send Drew and Lily on a snakehead hunt.
So Josh, I hear we're going on a hunt for snakeheads.
Yeah, we're gonna give it a try. We'll see what we can get.
Well, where are the fishing rods?
Oh, didn't you bring them? Well, today we're gonna actually use electricity, and I'll show you how that's gonna work.
All right.
Okay.
So we actually have a generator on board the boat here. That's actually back there at the captain's chair underneath. And the electricity is gonna run between these two booms right here. And you guys are gonna be up front, the snakeheads. When the generator's running, they're gonna float up, hopefully, and then you guys are gonna have to net them. You're gonna have to be really fast.
Well, does it hurt them?
No, it only temporarily stuns them, so they're going to snap out of it. By the time they get to the back of the boat, they should swim away unharmed. And snakehead in particular don't get stunned very long, so you guys are going to have to be really fast.
Got it.
And actually, as you're netting, this is a safety switch, so both of you guys have to have your foot down, and that'll actually put out the electricity, so if you guys come off, that'll stop the electricity and you guys will be safe. Let me give you guys some basic netting instructions. So I'm going to have one of you on each side of the boat, and I want you guys to focus on your side, whatever side you're on. And typically you want to look anywhere from the probe up to the bow of the boat. That's where the most likely that the snakeheads are going to come up. Now when you see a snakehead, you want to try to net it head first, because if they snap out of it, that way they'll swim right into your net. And if you get them tail first, then what might happen is they're going to just swim right out of the net. So they will snap out of it real fast. And then, so if you get them head first going in, once you get them, just get them on board, and then we'll work them up right here on deck.
Is there any way we could get electrocuted like this?
Well, the first rule of electrofishing is don't touch the water. Other than that, it's pretty safe. You're going to be wearing rubber gloves. The boat is actually isolated from the electricity. The electrical field generally runs from the bow forward to the probes and about 6 foot off the probes.
So what kind of water do the snakeheads live in, salty or freshwater?
They do live in freshwater. They actually will travel through saltwater to get to other freshwater bodies, which is one reason why they're so invasive.
So can anyone go electroshocking?
Not just anyone. You typically got to have a scientific research permit. You need a boat, and it is dangerous, so there's a lot of training involved as well.
So does it matter the type of water that you electroshock in?
Yeah, we cannot electrofish in salty water. There's actually too high a conductivity, and it just doesn't work. It would fry the generator. So we're actually in freshwater today. It works well in freshwater, and that's really the best habitat for electrofishing.
So I realize that these fish can have harmful effects on the environment. What happens if an everyday fisherman's to catch one?
We actually encourage the angler to take them home. You can kill them, and that way you're removing it from the ecosystem. You can take it home and eat it. They actually do taste really good.
Really?
And you get to feel good about doing something great for the environment.
So what are we going to do with them when we catch them?
What we're going to do is we're going to throw them right in the cooler on ice, and we're going to take them back to the lab. We're going to dissect them. We'll figure out what sex they are and what they've been eating.
All right.
Don't go away. Aqua Kids will be right back with more shocking truths about the snakehead.
One of the most critically endangered creatures on Earth is the South China tiger. It is considered by many scientists to be the predecessor to all modern tigers. Although there are a few currently in captivity, the South China tiger is functionally extinct. There have been no confirmed sightings of this animal in the wild for over 30 years. If some do persist, they'll be found in the subtropical evergreen forest of southeast China. The smallest of all tiger subspecies, this predator only grows up to 8 feet long and maxes out at about 330 pounds. The stripes on this tiger are spaced further than that of other tiger species, giving it a distinct and impressive appearance. This beautiful creature was heavily hunted and killed as a common pest in the 20th century. Human encroachment and lack of prey has contributed to its demise. There are programs currently active with the goal of releasing captive communities back into suitable areas around the world. Find out what you can do for the South China tiger and other apex predators on our website.
Hi, Hannah here. For more information on today's show, go to aquakids.tv. Welcome back to Aqua Kids, where Drew and Lily are about to have a shockingly good time.
All right, Drew and Lily, we're about to get in position here. We like to target these inshore, shallow, grassy areas. That's typically where we find most of the snakehead. Sometimes they'll be in as little as 2 or 3 inches of water. So if you guys want to get your gloves ready, you can step up to the front. Now I'm about to turn on the generator and let's get electroshocking.
All right, here's your gloves, Drew. And Lily, yours, and you just want to go ahead and put them on.
And just remember to keep your foot on the pedal, guys. When that snakehead comes up, if your foot comes off, the electricity will stop and that thing will swim right away. All right, Lily, get your net. Let's get ready.
All right, let's do this.
All right, I'm going to start the generator. I'll let you guys know when the electricity's on. You can go ahead and push the pedal.
All right.
All right, it's on. And we're shocking. So you're going to see all sorts of fish. You only want to net snakeheads, but if you don't know what it is, go ahead and net it and we'll pull it aboard.
Your little snakehead.
guys might see the grass move like that. Sometimes that can be snakeheads. We'll also look for bubbles that they'll stir up because they're sitting on the bottom.
Okay, Lily, let me give you some pointers here on some netting technique. So you kind of want to hold your net up and down like this, and then when you see a fish, you're going to kind of like jab at it like it's a spear, okay? And then when you actually net a fish, you're just going to pick it straight up and take it around the side of the boat. That way we're not turning it sideways and whacking people in the head with the end of the pole.
Okay.
Well, let's see if there's any snakeheads across the creek here. We got a snakehead. See it? All right.
So I saw this guy got shocked up here. Here he is. So this is this year's fish. This guy was spawned this year. You can see by his big fat belly, he's been chowing down on aquatic invertebrates and other small fish found in this river.
All right, let's put him in the cooler and store him away.
The baby snakehead was put in quarantine to be taken back to the lab. As a family, snakeheads have a native range that includes parts of Asia and Africa. However, fishery scientists have found 4 species in the United States.
Oh, what I got here? Is that a bass?
Yes, this is a largemouth bass. They're not called that for no reason.
So are we throwing him back?
Yep, we're gonna throw this guy right back.
As they continued to look for snakeheads, Drew and Lily pulled in several species of fish that were returned safely to the river.
That's a bass. Just go ahead and let him go. Just look for the weeds moving. It might be a snakehead back in here.
The best thing to do to get it on board is to kind of hold it straight up and down and come around the side.
Ooh, that's a big buddy.
That's actually a common carp. They are also from Asia, and while perhaps not considered invasive, they also were introduced here, but mainly in the 1800s.
Well, shockingly, the snakeheads are winning right now.
All right, maybe the next spot will have one. But anytime you guys see the weeds move like that, we'll investigate and see if it's a snakehead. They should come shooting out at the boat if there is one. All right, we're ready to go again. Go ahead and push the pedal. You can see they snap out of it real fast.
Snakeheads prefer stagnant, shallow ponds, swamps, and slow streams with mud or vegetated substrate. As juveniles, northern snakeheads eat zooplankton, insect larvae, small crustaceans, and young fish. As adults, they become voracious predators, feeding on other fish, crustaceans, frogs, small reptiles, and even birds and mammals. With no natural enemies, northern snakeheads can devastate populations of native fish and wildlife. They compete directly with the native fish, altering feeding habits, food availability, and behaviors of other members of the ecosystem.
Na 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 na.
Before their threat was fully noticed, live snakeheads were sold in the United States in pet shops and live fish markets. Uninformed pet owners may have released them into the wild when they grew too big for aquarium tanks or as part of religious or cultural practices. In 2002, the import and interstate transport of the northern snakehead was banned without a permit from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. After several hours of searching, the big moment the Aqua Kids have been waiting for.
Got him? Good job.
All right, we got it.
Is that it? Have we got one?
Yep, this is a snakehead.
Wow, watch his mouth.
His coloration is similar to that of a snake, especially with these diamond patterns on his side. You can see he's got real long dorsal and anal fins here, and the rounded tail. That's how we know he's a snakehead.
So I can tell his color's changing. Why is that?
So when we first shock them, they kind of lose their color a little bit, but now that he's had a little bit of time to recover, his color has really come back, and you can really see how much he resembles a snake.
So is he breathing air right now?
Yes, they can actually breathe atmospheric oxygen.
How do they do that if they have gills?
They actually have an organ that helps them breathe atmospheric oxygen that most fish don't have.
Well, we got one.
Well, Ashley got one.
Oh, I see how it is.
If snakeheads become established in northern American ecosystems, their predatory behavior could drastically modify the array of native species. As a result, they could disrupt the ecological balance and forever change native aquatic systems.
Oh, hi. Hi, I'm so glad you're here. You know, it always excites me to meet young people who love to protect the earth as much as I do. Young people who are pioneering powerful ways to conserve and protect our planet for all of us. I call them eco-defenders. Let's find out what they're up to.
I grew up in Detroit, and I got my spark from science when I realized that it had an impact on people. When I realized it really was something that could be used as a catalyst for change. I was always interested in environmental issues as a high schooler. I mean, I was like, you know, what is all this blight, all the vacant lots, all of the vacant housing, vacant schools, vacant community centers, and this leads to crime, you know, even health concerns. I partnered with Daniel Katz here at the University of Michigan, and we ended up starting a project together on pollen and public health in Detroit. Ragweed is an allergenic plant, and it grows on railroad tracks, any type of edging around a lot, pretty much anywhere where there's sunlight, good soil, and good water. It is a huge factor to public health that contributes to the rise of hospitalization rates and the rise of allergies. The research project was answering the question, is ragweed more abundant in vacant lots compared to your suburbia? There's this term called citizen science, combining people to science and the solutions. So that was the approach that I took, and I collaborated with Western International High School to be a part of the data collection process. So what can we do to change the land use to actually decrease the amount of ragweed? The most integral part was really having them go out and actually collect data. So we made these homemade pollen collectors, and we actually had the students take each individual pollen collector and place them in different parts of their communities. It also got us a lot of data points for us to assess back in the lab. So we found that most ragweed plants are found in vacant lots compared to suburbia or in other wealthy neighborhoods. Vacant lots had the most ragweed production. Usually students end up with a textbook, classroom, and end up going home. But if you can actually make science real to them, that's really what I believe is the catapult to change. We have so much green space. Detroit is unique in that way. It's not like a Chicago or New York. I believe Detroit needs a paradigm shift. When we think of urban planning, we think more of the traditional way of growing or even developing. So the solution is not just concrete and buildings. I believe the paradigm shift is to see natural space in a different way. Let them grow out. Let them become forest. Let them go back to its original state. So you have all these different other species that get taller or more robust, and it outcompetes the resources that a ragweed's able to get.
I think viable green space in an urban area is one of the most crucial things that we can do for not a lot of money. Putting her work in the context of the city of Detroit, bringing it to Detroit Public School students, makes it all relevant.
This project in science is my voice and what I really view as a way of making impactful and immediate change. Once facts get out there, that's when advocacy and that's when real change happens on all different levels, from young to old, from black to white, from everyone in the city.
Wasn't that amazing? Okay, now it's your turn. If you or someone you know is doing something remarkable to help our planet, let us know about it, and you could be our next eco-defender. I gotta go. Want to keep up with our adventures? Follow us on Twitter and Facebook.
Aqua Kids will be right back.
Drew here. Be sure to join us next week as we travel to the Virginia Institute of Marine Science to learn about harmful marine debris and efforts to save the endangered diamondback terrapins from lost crab traps. Plus, we'll marvel at the biodiversity of the lower Chesapeake Bay.
I'm Jalen, and this is Earth Edition. Nobody likes an uninvited guest, and in nature, this non-native nuisance is known as an invasive species. There are thousands of them in every category: plants, insects, fish, mammals, birds, and amphibians. They cause major ecosystem problems across the world. This imbalance of ecosystem includes wildlife, plants, insects, livestock, fish, and humans. But there is good news in the fight against invasive species. Programs to educate the public are in place. Easy tips include cleaning off all your outdoor recreation gear, never release an unwanted pet or fish into the wild, only use native plants for your area, never bring animals, plants, produce, or soil home from another country, and be a good citizen by joining a local native plant fish, or wildlife group. I'm Jalen, and this has been Earth Edition.
Welcome back to Aqua Kids.
Well, it's been great to work with the Aqua Kids. It's good to work with young kids, get them involved in conservation, and it helps spread the awareness of invasive species control, and prevention is the best medicine. All right, well, we're almost back to the dock. Hope you guys had a good time. Thanks for your help. You're helping to remove invasive species, do a little snakehead management. All right, when we get up to the dock, we'll talk about what we did.
Hey, Hannah.
Hey, so did you have an electrifying experience?
Sure did.
Did you catch anything?
Yeah, had a little trouble at first, but we got one.
Well, we got a small one and we got a big one.
So what did we learn today?
We learned never to release aquarium fish or their food into the waterway.
And we learned to never release live bait from one body of water to another.
Snakeheads can breathe air and stay out of the water for days.
If you catch a snakehead, it's a good idea not to throw it back, and it's illegal to transport a snakehead alive.
In fact, restaurants are now putting them on the menu.
All great information. Remember, it's up to you to keep it green and blue. Help protect our planet, and we'll see you next time on Aqua Kids.
Bye.
Aqua Kids, doing what we have to do. Saving our earth, land, air, and sea. All we gotta do is keep it green and blue.